This report on the Econet Victoria Falls Marathon is proudly brought to you by Econet Wireless, inspired to change your world. The Victoria Falls, definitely one of the world's most dramatic natural spectacles and visited by millions throughout the year, plays host to an amazing sporting event, the Econet Victoria Falls Marathon. Wildlife and water life create a landscape rich with natural ecological diversity, a beautiful pocket of the African continent. Crashing through rapids while whitewater rafting, leaping off cliffs and jetting into uncharted territories are just a few activities the extreme adventurers might be willing to engage in here. Bungee jumping is possibly the most spoken about highlight of a visit to the Victoria Falls, catching the attention of thousands of tourists each year. For those who wish to engage more gently with wildlife, there is an African elephant-back safari, or simply a walk alongside the greatest predators on the continent. Africa is not short on delicious cuisine, and this, while listening to the sounds of the bush, is the perfect end to a busy day. The tourism industry is booming around Africa's greatest waterfall. The Kingdom Hotel, a Zambezi River Lodge and the Victoria Falls Safari Lodge are two such beautiful places, eloquently embracing the style of rustic luxury. A puddle of light opens and closes an African day with couples and friends breathing pure African air. Playing host to one of the world's most scenic marathons, the Cyber Cafe is where people may log on and electronically enter the event via Econet Wireless.
I'm so excited. We opened our Econet Cyber Cafe on 1st of July this year, and a lot of people have been coming in. There's been an influx of customers registering for the Econet Marathon, and we're excited. We're also running, so I'm excited about that as well.
The 2011 Econet Victoria Falls Marathon took place on Sunday the 28th of August in Zimbabwe, the 5th time it has been held. Up to the day before, one could enter the event and collect one's registration and race number without the hassle of queues, whilst of course sampling a locally brewed beer. A little apprehensive at first, or perhaps it's the thought of running 42.2 kilometers the following day.
At registration for 3 days, we were sampling so that people who are coming from all over the region will have the opportunity to test the refreshing Zambezi lager.
The Rotary Club of Victoria Falls was asked to identify a worthy charity for the marathon. We've identified that sport is of major importance to the children, and we felt that Roses of Charity was that charity.
Rose of Charity started in 2006 when I was doing my counseling course in Harare. We were given a case study to do in Victoria Falls, and I chose to do it with the street kids. When I probed into their problems, I realized that there was need for them to be helped, and a mother-to-son relationship was built.
The donations we're hoping to achieve from the participations and the tourists and people visiting would be that the proceeds would go towards food, school fees are a big one, various medications, toys, clothes, all the day-to-day running costs of the house.
The Zambezi Man Challenge offered athletes the opportunity to tackle one of whitewater rafting's greatest challenges. The nervously excited adventurers met their newest best friends as rules were explained. Even for the experienced, one should never underestimate the power of water's fury. Being led towards the rafts, nervous smiles were evident as oars, helmets and life jackets were distributed and heads turned toward a magical body of flowing water. Laughs gave way to soaked shrieks as orange bodies became bobbing dots in clouds of spray and foam. The scene was set for an adventure never before experienced. The floating raft was the anchor as men and women battled the river. It was imperative that panic did not take over, and after an amazing time of whitewater storm, a much-needed rest was enjoyed. The second leg to the event was the mountain bike challenge. A little less heroic, but certainly more grueling on the body. Camping in the African bush is something rather special. A purple dawn set the cyclists off. Once again, appropriate apparel was needed, and the mountain bikes were put to the ultimate test. The riders glided over the smoother, less technical surfaces, but rocky, uneven pathways and thick river sand made life a little more complicated. Strategically placed water tables lined the route where riders could replenish electrolyte and fluid stores. But one must remember that this was a race. 3 events: rafting, mountain biking and then the marathon. In the men's event, Owen Green took top honours with a total time of 9 hours 12 minutes, followed by Renaud Gonzalez and Martin Dixon. In the ladies section, Nguer Caruso won in a total time of 12 hours and 18 minutes.
Lots of loose rock up and down, wheels skidding everywhere, and then beautiful single track above the gorge.
Carleen Esterhazen and Catherine Bowerman took the ladies' minor placings.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
But hard.
Did you have any problem with your bike?
No problems at all.
As part of the Victoria Falls Marathon 2011 event, we've got a charity side to it, and we got in touch with a company called Network of Caring, part of the Network 21 group, and they donated 100 wheelchairs to us, which we sent up to the Victoria Falls Safari Lodge. The team from South Africa came in, and Jono and the guys from Victoria Falls Safari Lodge helped them put it all together. And today at the marathon, it's the official handover, and we're very glad to be involved with an event like this to make changes. Not just having people run, but also giving people mobility, which they didn't have before.
The marathon route started at the Kingdom Hotel, travelled across the Vicfalls Bridge and then back before making 2 big loops alongside the Zambezi River and into the Zambezi National Park. On the way it passed the Elephant Hills Hotel, the A Zambezi River Lodge and the Sprayview Hotel before peeling off to finish at the Vicfalls Primary School. It was a fresh African morning at the 2011 Econet Victoria Falls Marathon. Unlike the great city marathons, African races tend to get smaller fields, but they are certainly not short of enthusiasm and beauty. It is always quite special to run outside one's homeland, and runners often show their national pride in the form of flag-coloured vests. Despite the nerves before such a distance, the excitement was tangible.
Trying to get a bit of energy in the old system.
It's going to be an amazing experience seeing this beautiful country. Bring it on. Very nervous, very excited.
Apart from supporting the Rose of Charity and Victoria Falls Anti-Poaching Unit, these runners will be ticking off a goal on their bucket list. The gun was fired and the small crowd started their journey. As always, there were those that captured television glory within the first 5 minutes, while others ran with the intention of finishing strongly. And of course, it would be silly not to run with a camera on that bridge. Like all major events, this one had its causes.
The Victoria Falls Anti-Poaching Unit was established about 12 years ago, and basically we joined forces with the local authorities here to fight the menace of poaching in the Victoria Falls region. Zimbabwe currently has 17 scouts working with the unit, and we patrol the areas surrounding Victoria Falls and the Zambezi National Park. So we're out there 7 days a week, getting up to all sorts of things to protect our wildlife. This year we're very proud to be one of the beneficiaries from the Victoria Falls Marathon, and I think it shows how we can work hand in hand, considering the marathon is going to traverse through some of the prime wildlife areas. People can visit www.vfapu.org. Okay, we've got a website there with a lot more information about the unit and our operations.
Running back over the bridge, the leaders did not have time to soak in the view. The pace was quick but conservative in the early stages. As others posed for wide-angle shots of the falls, the leading men formed a well-paced group, including Zimbabweans Kudakwashi Kanduna and Paul Mizha, and the Tanzanian runner Nelson Murashani. As the sun heralded a new day, refreshment stations became increasingly important. John Diarera looked strong as his race progressed, but still hot on his heels was the chasing group of 10 men. Despite the speed of the top runners, animals are faster and a lean runner could make a tasty meal. In the ladies' race, Lizzie Chikori in the red and green colours and Banulia Katasikhwa in the black set the pace.